Leslie.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great.
Good.
Oh my goodness, trying to get all of this set up has
I
been
know.
a real thing here.
You guys, there's always so much behind the scenes that's going on. And speaking of, I have to write just one thing to one person. So Adele, talk away for just a second.
Oh, she's turning it all over to me.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, for those that are coming in from different areas, either the YouTube or the group, also AforArtistic, if you put your comments down, they are not going to show up right away. So just give it a little bit, and for us to be able to answer you back, there's always a delay. And so we're just excited to be here and can't wait to share all this information that we've been gathering for the last couple of months. But we do have a few things that we wanted to go over.
Well, first off, hi, Adele. How are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing great.
Yes, we had to, you guys, we have special guests for you guys today. So we behind the scenes, we were coordinating everything. But yes, Adele, first off, our ACS community is growing really nicely, nicely.
Yes, we had a few that came in this week, and we just wanted to say welcome, and we can't wait to see what you're working on. And please feel free to introduce yourself and share your art, because that's what it's all about. We want to connect with you.
Right. That's the big thing. It's about sharing your art and what you're doing, no matter what medium you're working in. We love to see everything, even projects that you are, working in progress on too. That's really fun. Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
We love seeing those.
And then we also have the house project that has come to its conclusion. And there are so many fantastic house projects that we are gathering the information, and then Adele is going to put together this fantastic video so that you guys will be able to see all of them in one area. So it's going to be really fun. So be patient with us on that. It's coming. Oh man, look at what Suzanne's here. Hi, Suzanne. Nice to see you. Look at what she did already. Isn't that nice?
That's nice. North in California.
Yes,
that's great. We're so glad you're here.
Definitely.
Yes. Oh, and Suzanne said here.
Yes.
She finished the book last night. Well, you didn't have to finish it.
Yeah, I think that's so cool. It is one of those kind of things that once you start reading it, it's like, I feel like, really, there's Kathleen. She made it in. She wasn't quite. Good morning. Glad you're here. Yep. Okay. Yay, you guys. Good job showing up. I love it.
We're so glad that you're here. It's great to see everybody coming in. And this is going to be really a lot of fun.
Yes.
We have a lot of stuff planned.
Yes. Great. Good job, you guys, showing up and being here. And so the house project, as I was talking about, that will be coming out soon.
Please don't put any dates, because then I feel pressured.
I know. I'm not putting any dates. We have Adele and I, we love to be busy, and we're busy. So it's cool. And speaking of busy, you know what we have for you guys, for you to pop in and to take a look at our teachers for this coming Art Connection Summit. Look at these guys. We have fiber cloth, clay, felt, cloth, encaustic, cloth, felt, and polymer. So we have just a really cool, diverse group this year for this year's in October. It's going to be, and their projects are really fun. You guys are going to love them. So it's fun. Yep, definitely.
It's exciting. And we'll also post the link, because we're going to be starting to update the summit website as we get the information. We're just waiting on some pictures of the projects so you can see what the projects will look like for the summit classes. And so we're just working our way through that right now.
Yep. It's all about gathering information.
Yes,
It's
it is.
always about gathering information so that we can get it out to you guys. And so today we are doing something really special. We are going to talk about this book.
Well, if I can find my camera.
Yep, this book. And we reached out to people ahead of time and wanted to know if you guys were interested in joining the show with us live and in person. And we had some of you guys respond back to us. And so those that did, we had a couple glitches, a couple people couldn't get on, but that's okay. We're going to record this. So, and then you guys who are here are present. So feel free, we're going to ask questions and feel free to chime in, and you can just write in your comment. And so, excuse me, the way that this is going to work is first, you, as always, you get me and Adele. And then we're going to bring up our guest, Ellen, and she was here. That was perfect timing. And hi, Ellen, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Good. Yeah, can you tell us where you're located?
I'm living in the northeast corner of Pennsylvania.
So way up there. Yep.
Way up.
Yep. Way up there. Yeah, definitely.
Well, this is exciting. Well, I'm excited because this is the first time we have ran a panel discussion. And I think it's just going to be fabulous because we're all going to be talking about the same thing.
I know. So the way that this is our intention is the way that we're going to do it is we're going to discuss the first two chapters, courage and enchantment. We kind of beforehand we were on and we were talking about this. We might only get to 2 questions or we might get through all the questions, but we're just going to play it by ear and to see how it works out. So the people that are participating, they were sent a list of questions. So they had time to think about it, hopefully, or not. They can just fly by the seat of their pants. And so I will call out the questions and then I will go to call out each member so that we're not all talking at the same time. But you guys out there that are, go ahead and write in your comments and we'll pull them up as we're discussing.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So I am going to show the areas that the 2 chapters that we'll be talking about and here the
Adele, you are so fancy.
I know. It was magical.
I didn't even know that you had that.
That was a surprise.
Very well done. Very well done.
Yeah. Make magic happen.
I know.
Well, it's just kind of fun. This is such a fun group. We have to keep it whimsical and fun. Yeah. And a couple of those names that are on there, they're not here right now. But if they don't catch up with us on this discussion, we'll catch them on the next one.
That's right.
So
yep, that's right.
So let's bring our guest up. I can't wait.
Yes.
Hey, ladies.
Hey, you guys. Good job showing up.
Hello.
Oh, there's Ruth Ann down there. She's watching at least. I see.
Okay, yeah. There
so
it is. She said she's the fairy dust. Okay.
Ruth Ann, yeah. So she is here, just not on the screen. So Ruth Ann, feel free to write in your comments as we're going along. So let's introduce our guests. Sandy, welcome and tell us. Well, we know you're Sandy, and tell us where you live.
I live in Alaska in a small fishing village of about 250 people. Pretty isolated. The only way you can get in is by air or by boat, and the airplanes are like 6 passenger. So you're not gonna take a big plane to get here. But that's where I live, and it's mostly forest right down to the ocean.
Wow. That sounds fantastic. I love it. And I love that you and Ellen are like on the opposite ends of the US. That's like really cool. I love it. Yeah, definitely.
That's
Would-
right.
And Sandy, can you tell us what medium you like to work in?
I really like to work in polymer clay, although for many years I was a watercolor artist.
Fantastic. I love that. I find that most artists, dip into other things a lot, and then then kind of bring them together too.
I think when you are an artist and have tried many different things, you bring many of the things that you learn from your other attempts or interests into your primary art medium.
I agree too.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely. Yep. And Giselle, welcome. We're so glad you're
Hello,
here.
hello.
And tell us where you're living. Where are you from?
I'm from Montreal, Quebec, Canada.
All right. Yes, you're right next door to Adele. That's fantastic. And
Exactly.
what medium do you like to work in?
That's the problem. I like too many mediums. I have been doing this for many, many years. I touch as many mediums as I can, from felting to knitting to weaving to clay, paver-pole, and now I'm into sewing. So I love fiber. I love 3G. I love texture. It just gets me hot. I'm getting hot just talking about it.
It is.
Right.
It is.
And she
And
does
Ellen,
really, really beautiful work.
I love that.
Thank you.
Well, we're so happy that you're here. And Ellen, what medium do you like to work in?
Well, I like Giselle, and Giselle, I don't think you have to apologize, and you don't have to say it's a problem, because the world is full of all of these things that we have to try, right?
Yes.
We just have to go there. And everything we do brings more knowledge to every medium that we use. So I'm with Giselle. Started as a fiber person as a very young age and transitioned into clay, pottery clay. And I'm just dove right into felting, wet felting. So that's where I'm basing my work, but love to explore.
That's wonderful.
Definitely.
And your work is beautiful, Ellen, really.
Yeah,
just beautiful. We have some other people that have joined us. Lori.
Yes.
Lori's from Las Vegas.
Well, we can tell, can't we? Because she's having lots of fun.
And then we have Azalea. Hey, Azalea.
Oh, hi, Azalea. Glad you're here. I love that name. It's so fantastic.
And Lori's sending you kisses, Sandy.
That's so nice. I love that.
She is so sweet. I
And
just
then,
love her.
you guys, if some of you guys, your name isn't coming up, we have a Facebook user that says, hey, would you just tell us your name? For some reason, sometimes depending on where you're coming in from, it won't tell us who you are. And we like to know who you are. So if you said, hey, will you just type in your name so we know who you are? Because we like that.
Okay, so what I can do is when we're going through the questions, if I have some comments, we need to stop for just a minute. Just let me check the comments so I can post them up there if anybody has anything to say.
Perfect.
So
Well,
let's get started.
Let's jump in. So the first thing we're going to talk about is courage. And in the opening of Big Magic, Elizabeth Gilbert describes creative living as living a life that is driven more by curiosity than fear. So I find this runs through most of everything that she talks about. So I will say the question and then I will call out your name and then you can respond. So what does courage mean to you, Ellen? I know. I'm doing it how I see it on my screen. Don't worry, we're going to say two. So go ahead.
Well, what I would describe, I'll tell a story to describe what courage means to me. And when I first learned about felting, wet felting, which was years and years and years ago, I had no idea where to buy wool. I had no idea of it. I just had some books, and I would say I was fearful because, well, first I didn't have the materials, but I didn't have the knowledge. And if I had the materials and read a book, I still would have been fearful. How do I know if it's felted enough? How do I know if I'm doing it properly? And I think artists were all visual. So if we don't know how to do something, if it's not shown to us, it might be really, really hard to begin. And that's being fearful. Using courage is going, just jumping in and saying, well, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to discover something and I'm willing to try. And you always have to say, what if? And I know with wool, it's precious material. And so if I treat everything as very precious, then I am being fearful. You have to say, you know what? It's all an experiment. And you just go for it, because if you can't use your materials, you're never going to discover the next thing that you're going to be doing.
Nicely stated, Ellen. Beautiful.
Well, we don't have anything else to say, Ellen. Thank you.
All right, Giselle, what does courage mean to you?
Well, I wrote down is courage is not allowing your negative thoughts to overpower your positive thoughts. Because whenever we're making something, the fear starts to come up as this is no good. What are people going to say about it? They're not going to like it. It's coming out crooked. So we get to all these negative thoughts and we have to say, stop, leave, and just do it. And that's what I love teaching people, is to stop listening to that bad person over here. Just leave them outside, because everything is an experience, and good or bad, it's okay. It's the process that counts in my life. And it's just wonderful. We have to stop thinking how negative things are, and we have to look at the positive. So courage is the guts to do it. Just go. Just keep on going.
That's right.
And sometimes you have to walk away, come back, and you see it in a whole different light.
Absolutely. I love that. That's so good.
So I have a couple of people that are chiming in. So I'll put these up before we get to Sandy real quick. Here's one. That's true. It means different things at different times in our lives. It's just like this book. You know, how many of us read this book a while back? And then now you're rereading it and it just has a different meaning.
Different flavor. Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Well, I never read it, but I did see it.
Yeah.
It wasn't time for me to read it.
That's right.
Then we have Sarah Parker Baker here. Courage to be free, expectation, both others and my own.
Yep. That's
Nicely said.
Yep. Very nicely said. Yep. I love it.
Okay.
Sandy, what does courage mean to you?
Courage means to me that as you're living your life, other things happen, such as death in families, illness, major surgeries, and things like that within your family. And you still need to hang on to that courage to go up to your studio or get your your tools out and create. Because if you let all those things stop you, you'll never do anything, because you're always going to have some crisis happening somewhere in your family. So you just have to push ahead and, you know, say, I'm going to do it no matter what. Right now, I'm trying to learn to keep bees, just so you guys all know.
Yeah.
And the bees are arriving tomorrow. And so bees are kind of scary sometimes. So now I'm stepping out and trying to learn something new. So that takes a certain amount of courage. And I'm going, well, you know, because then you go, oh, what if this happens? What if the bears come into my yard and eat all the bees? And what if this and what if that? So you have to kind of just stop doing that, the what ifs to yourself, and just go ahead like you know what you're doing and see what happens.
Yeah, it's kind of like having the ability to do something that frightens you, to push you through whatever project that you're trying to accomplish or the goals that you've set for yourself. Yeah, And you, Leslie?
Oh, well, oh, okay. Courage means to me, you guys, everybody stated everything so beautifully. I find a lot about kind of what Giselle was saying about being in your head, and also relating to what Sarah said too, is that it's the expectations. You know, if you put your energy to everybody out there and what they're expecting and perfection and that type of stuff, that can freak you out. So if you can take it and just bring it to you and to the project and just connect with the project, then and try to keep that outside away from you. So courage to me means busting through no matter what, you know, just getting it and just doing it, and not to rely on what the expectations, you know, don't predetermine what it can be, because you might miss something. You might miss something magical if you try to control it or guide it. So,
well, I also think that fear will step in on you. Fear will come in and really mess with you. Just to give you a for instance, most of you have seen that I've started this color pencil medium now, and I put my sketch up 2 weeks ago, ready to put that pencil on that paper, and I cannot seem to get myself in my head to be able to do this. And I'm thinking, when I was reading the book, what is keeping me from doing it? And I'm thinking, well, maybe it's because I feel a little intimidated with all the others I'm seeing, and I'm thinking, what if mine is not going to be good enough?
right.
And until I really started, they have a list of things in here about fear, and I started, yep, that one, yep, absolutely that one, and oh yeah, maybe that one. Oh, I better get rid of these because I'll never start this piece. So that's what I'm going to do after this broadcast. I'm going to go draw.
Right on. Good job. Yeah. Well, and I also love what Elizabeth Gilbert says about curiosity, you know, and relating back to what you were saying, Adele, about fear, you know, when we all look at everything, the bottom line is usually fear. You know, it's like, am I going to be good enough? Is it going to be good enough? I don't know how to use the, you know, the materials, and I'm, you know, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we've all done that. And so it is fear. And like Elizabeth Gilbert says, if you can take that fear and turn it into curiosity, even to the point of asking you, why am I afraid of this? You know, and maybe that fear is it's not going to be perfect, and everybody's going to look at me as a failed artist. And that's, being an artist is being courageous. I mean, it just is.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, we're gutsy women. What can I say?
We are gutsy women. All right. Beautiful answers, you guys. And then our next question, and again, I'll call out your names. What is your hidden treasure, or what do you wish to create? And this was really dealing with the first 7 pages of the book. And ta-da, Ellen.
Well, that's a little bit hard to answer, but I would say my hidden treasure is my humor that comes through in my work, because it's very quirky and fun. And a lot of times fun doesn't, I feel that fun might not match people's expectations of being a good artist, or a serious, not a good art, I'll say serious artist. I'm very serious. I'm very serious.
Yeah.
Every single day, you know, that I can in my studio. So I'm very serious and passionate, but I think it's my treasure, or something that I treasure, is my humor and my ability to just have fun and show that in my work.
Yes, I love that. I love that. And that's part of your signature, you know, in your pieces is, you know, is the voice. That's your voice. Yeah, that's fantastic. I love it. And Giselle, what is your hidden treasure, or something that you wish to create?
Well, I think my hidden treasure is probably encouraging other people to try things. I've taught many different ages from 5-year-olds to 9-year-old seniors, and everybody's scared to try. They see it, they love it, they want to do it, and all of a sudden they're like, come to the class and have a seat and try. Oh, no, no, I can't. And I've witnessed, I tell them, just give me half an hour. I guarantee you can do this. And they come in, especially the seniors. When I was teaching at a home, at an old folks home, they were very upset. Okay, I'm going to come and do this just to make you happy. They never left the class. And it was wonderful. It makes me so happy to see that self-confidence that builds up in them. That's what makes my journey great, is just seeing other people find the magic in art, in creativity, from knitting to mixed media. I mean, I've done so many different things. We just have to simplify it. Stop seeing the whole picture. Just let's start with A, just getting it in your hands. And it makes me so happy. So I guess that's my thing, is just encouraging others to give it a try. And they're so happy when they achieve it. Like, even if it's not perfect, at least they are trying. It's a step. It's a beginning.
I love that too, because it's about you lending a hand out to them to help them.
Yeah.
I think that's
because I was once at their spot too. I was just curious. I just wanted to try things. I'm curious. I want to try everything. I see something, I got to try that, and I got to try that. My studio is a store. And I love it. And I call this my happy world. And when someone comes here, they can try it too. It's not that hard. There's some things that take practice, of course, but you can do it. Just give it a chance.
Yes, absolutely. Right. Adele, do you want to put up? We have some people talking on the comments.
So let's put this one up. I'll start from
we'll get to you, Sandy, after that.
Okay. It's this one here. Sorry.
Courage to be free from expectation, both others and my own. Suzanne, that's right. I like what Gilbert said about making peace and with fear, being in the creative car with you, but not letting it drive the car. So expanding on that was like, fear can be with you. It can be your companion, but don't let it take the lead. Right. like accept it, let it be with you, let it be your side partner. But like I said, don't let it drive the car. That's wonderful. I love that point. Sarah, hidden treasure, the passion and excitement of sharing passion and excitement. Yes, I love that. That is very true. Yes, it works both ways, doesn't it? Yep.
It does. And I'll grab two more and then we'll move on. She loves helping others find their own inspiration. That's right.
And Ruth Han has one way. So, yep, there you go. I believe to encourage others helps you want to create too. Absolutely.
I think so. I think I know that I have taught, and I get just as inspired by the students as it is as much as me putting the program or the course together. It's just it's a lot of fun, when you feel and you can see their progress of what you've been able to give them to move on and do their art. It's really interesting.
It's about sharing our joy.
That's it.
Yes.
So joyful to create. Yes. And why shouldn't everyone else be joyful?
I know.
Yeah. That's for sure.
Okay, Sandy, what is your hidden treasure, or what do you wish to create?
Well, my hidden treasure is my ability to stick with something until I figure it out. Like with doing the houses. I did a little teapot house, and for the life of me, I did the bottom and I couldn't figure out how I was going to get the top of the teapot added. And I'm sure Ellen thought I was never going to move past that part. I finally figured out how to do what I needed to get the vision that I was seeing in my mind. And I think that is my hidden treasure, to stick with something until you figured it out to your satisfaction and to what you want to do, because you just can't start something and then walk away. You don't have to, but you know, in order to have a finished piece, you really need to stick with it. And that, I think, is my hidden treasure.
Very good. And bees.
Yes.
And
Soon to be
bees, I've got
Yes. Yes.
80,000 bees coming tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
A few close friends.
Wow. Wow.
That's
And
amazing.
Adele, what is your hidden treasure, or what do you wish to create?
Well, I feel like my hidden treasure is the ability to help promote artists. I have on other than that, as well as I feel very fortunate that I'm able to jump from one medium to the other, and I just love it. I love the arts, and so far as what other creative thing I want to bring into my life, I think that anything that I haven't done before that I can keep adding to my arsenal of mediums that I've already worked in, I think it just all works together, and that's the fun part. That's what I enjoy to do.
Yep. And my hidden treasure is a couple of things. Number one, I feel that I love art so much and just trying to figure things out. And I love just the figuring out of things. And then my students know this, I so love taking information and then translating it into whatever project we're working on. I love research so much, and I love bringing other things into my classes to expand their mind and their thoughts and to enhance whatever they're doing. So you can tell, like Giselle and all you guys, love teaching. I love teaching.
Yeah, well, it's very rewarding. It's very rewarding. It can be very rewarding.
Yep.
Suzanne, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, that's very nice.
Very nice of you. Thank
Yes.
you. Well, we really are loving our community, and we want everybody to succeed. And that was our big mission, is to connect artists from all over, different mediums. It didn't matter. And it's just fun to see everybody come into our community. I have one, let's see here from.
Oh, Ruth Ann. Next door neighbor has bees, and they move to our vineyard. He has come to collect them sometimes. Be prepared. Oh, you're going to have wandering children.
Oh no! I hope not. We don't have a vineyard here, so I don't have to worry about that.
Right. And you live on a small island, so they're probably not going too far. So
no, if they do, I won't be able to get them anyway. So
yes.
No. you have to put the canoe in and go find them.
I know. Right. Yes.
Okay.
You guys, you are answering these so beautifully. Let's see. I don't know if I want to go to that question. I'm looking at our time too. Well, let's do a quick one on Ellen. What are you curious about?
Well, you show me something that I haven't investigated yet, and I want to know everything about it. You know? I'll tell you another story. This is years and years ago. As a child, I didn't know anything about shrinky dinks. So I was living in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and I went to a local craft show, and there were some pieces that were done that were so amazingly accurate of fish, and the woman had turned them into pins and earrings. And my sister was visiting with me, and we were just fascinated by this. We started talking with her, and she told us, oh, they're shrinky dinks and you can get them at the craft store. And we immediately left. We went to the craft store, and we stayed up till 3 o'clock in the morning just doing shrinky dinks, just looking and being amazed, watching it shrink. So anything I see, I want to know how it's made, and I want to try it. I
love, that reminds me back to that period in time. where like, I think it was called Flower Power or something. And if you had these little metal trays and you put this goop in it and then you would bake it.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to remove these burning hot plates when you're 6 years old or whatever, you know, and it's amazing what we were able to do with the toxic fumes and the heat and the, you know, unnatural products that everybody's like so paranoid about it. But we all grew up with, I mean, most of us grew up using that stuff.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I can smell shrinky dinks. I can smell the flowers in the Easy Bake Oven. I can smell all those things still. So just a weird side note. Okay. So Giselle, what are you curious about?
It's what I'm not curious about. It'll be easier. I love to learn. You know what? People watch TV, movies. I watch podcasts. I watch different ways to learn anything. That is my pastime. I'm always learning. I'm creating and listening to some things, have mistakes that they go on, that things don't turn into, just everything. I love to learn. That is my thing. The more, the better. It's my happy world. I just love that we're all in the same boat, and it's nice to speak our language and we get it. We don't look like we're weird, you know. I think it's so comforting for me because, yeah, I'm a little weird. I love being home and just creating. And I love to share with people, and that's wonderful to be in this group because we all understand that it's a beautiful world. We are so blessed. I'm so grateful for this world.
It is.
It has saved me in so many ways. It's my happy world, and I love it. Yeah.
That's great, Giselle. And we're glad that you're here.
And we're not going anyplace else, are we, Giselle? We're right here.
No,
right.
We're staying here.
Yeah.
You know, and I find that most artists are so super comfortable of being by themselves. In fact, they relish being by themselves. My husband went out of town a couple of weekends ago, you know, and one girl said to me, well, you know, if you get lonely, you can reach out to me. And I'm thinking, he's gone for the weekend. You know? And so, I mean, and I love my husband dearly, but, you know, it's still, I think as artists, we love living in this world. You know, it is.
No, if I have to say, I'm divorced. I've been divorced for 24 years. And I'm the happiest person around because I have my world. So seriously, when I meet someone, it's like it's either this or this, and let's take this.
Yeah,
because it doesn't talk back to me. You know, like it just works out so well. I am always busy. They ask me, "Aren't you bored? You're by yourself. Your daughter's moved out. You live by yourself?" Nope, I'm good. Nope. I have art all through the house. All through the house.
Yep,
it's always it's a great thing. Yeah.
And Sandy, tell me, what are you curious about?
Well, like everybody else, I'm curious about everything. I mean, otherwise I probably wouldn't be keeping bees at my age, but you know, starting beekeeping because I'm just curious about how to do it. But curiosity, I mean, when I found this group, I felt like I found a whole bunch of kindred spirits who understand your weirdness or your quirkiness. I mean, it's just so nice to, you know, I used to think maybe I was just ADHD and I couldn't focus on anything. But, you know, if some new project comes along, I've got to try it to see if I can either incorporate it or at least figure out how to do it. So I am just curious about so many things. And my children just come in. I mean, I have my projects on the table because I'm also live alone and I enjoy living alone. My kids don't understand what I do all day, but I tell you what, I'm busy from the time I get up until the time I go to bed. And just with all these little projects that I'm doing, and I just love it. And like I said, when I discovered this group, it was like I discovered my family.
That's great.
So anyway, I would say never lose your curiosity because that really makes your life rich.
It does.
I think so too. Yeah.
And Adele, tell me.
Well, I'm always.
What are you curious about?
I'm curious about everything. I have enough supplies to last me 20 lifetimes.
Yes.
Because every time I decide that I want to go check out something else, it's a whole new set of supplies. Oh my goodness, I'm curious about everything. I love doing the research and then also to make it happen. Once I delve into it, you know, seeing it come to fruition, you know, it's just exciting. All of that. I love the arts, period.
I do too. Yep. Well, I'm with you on that one. And
Okay.
like all y'all, I am also curious about many things. And I actually get up really early in the morning, and every morning I read for 2 hours something that I'm curious about. So, and I think I have like 10 books I'm reading right now, and it's crazy, but I love reading so much, and I love learning new things, and I love the way the brain thinks. So I love how life is just perception. You know, like you guys were saying, it's like most of us love being alone. It's just perception, you know, like some people it's like horrific to be alone, but you know, for us it's like I can't wait to be alone. It's like so good. It's good. Yeah. And I just have to say this about my husband. We're just married coming on 4 years. And one of the things that I love about him is he's a rugby coach, and he is as passionate about his rugby coaching as I am about my art. So it's a beautiful balance. I mean, like today, he's gone the entire day doing rugby things, and you know, amen. It's fantastic. I love it. So good. All right. So let's move on. And we will start with Ellen. How do you live your life creatively, or how would you like to live it more creatively?
I would have to say there is no way I can live more creatively. I think it sounds like we all have an art store in our studios.
Yes, yes.
So whatever we want to do. So I just, how do I live creatively? I live there. It's in me. It's in my supplies are in my studio. I'm always discovering and trying. There is never enough time to do all the things that are in my head. You know, we need to live, you know, we have to really get this cloning thing on track and get it done so we can really be productive. Don't you think?
Yeah, that makes me very curious about that.
You know, Ellen, I thought about that years ago about like cloning myself. I mean, I don't know how to do it, but and then I thought, oh no, that would not work, because we would be arguing about like how it was going to be done, because each of us would be right. So
see, I would assign everyone something else to do.
Okay, yeah.
That way we wouldn't fight. We would just all be on our creative journey.
Yeah, you would delegate, right? Okay.
Right. But you have to have the head person and then the clonees kind of thing. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, okay.
Right.
Now that y'all are through dreaming.
Yes. All right. All right. Giselle, how do you live your life creatively, or how would you like to live it more creatively?
I live it every day. I really did. As a matter of fact, I quit my job, my other job, a few months ago, and this is what I do. And how would I love to live it more? I want to start teaching again. I just cleaned up my studio. COVID 2 years. This place has been a hurricane. I'm hiding things now, and opening up my desks again. And hopefully my classes will start. I need people in my life. I like sharing my thoughts. I love having people just finding their space and listening to their inner soul. It just makes me happy. I live it every day. It's the air I breathe. Without art, I don't think I'd be here. It's my medicine. When I'm having a bad day, I'll just knit a few minutes and things will change. So it's a big part of my life. I'm very grateful.
That's great.
Yeah.
You know, and I you were talking about knitting. I many years ago was sitting at my studio at my work table, and I love hand sewing. So hand sewing, and it just like all of a sudden dawned on me, this is so good for you. you know, like you were saying, your soul, this is so good for you. Everybody needs
like
to be doing this.
It's like a meditation.
It
Yes.
is
It's a meditation.
totally
It's just so zen.
right.
And just the needles clicking, I love it.
And you are
And
in that moment. You are living and breathing and being that in that moment.
Oh, I love it. It's, when you're stressed out, you just do it a little bit, even 10 minutes. And that's how I start my morning. It's my coffee and my knitting.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I gotta go. I gotta go downstairs to other crafts.
Yes, I know.
I can't knit all day. Yeah, I gotta do some dolls. I gotta go make some gnomes. So,
Yes.
but it's wonderful. It's wonderful learning everything because you put everything in the same project at the times.
Mhm,
And I was making a gnome a while ago. I was felting the handbag. I was putting some miniatures on it, some clay miniatures. It's just, I love putting all my world into one. It's just so much fun. Yeah.
mhm. Yes.
As Giselle talked about being, after COVID, now you want to open up things, and because you love the people and how necessary the creative process is. I think it's very necessary for our health. And I bet that during COVID, anyone who used their creativity in whatever way, we use it with our hands, visual artists, but bakers, and if you did something creative, you made it through comfortably.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
if you did not,
Yes.
it was a horrible time.
Right.
It was
For those
It
people.
was scary. It was
Yes.
scary. And
Yes.
arts and creativity allowed my brain to stop thinking about what's going on outside my house because I couldn't deal with it. I'm by myself, and it's scary. It was horrible, especially
Right.
the beginning.
Right.
And going down to my studio was my safe cave.
Mhm.
It was going to be okay. And I created a lot, and I had more than enough to create. I was lucky. I had everything. I did things I've never touched before. So,
Right.
yeah. People ask me, are you ever going to clean your studio? And I'm like, no, I have everything I need here. Why should I clean it?
I know. And Sandy, tell me, how do you live your life creatively, or how would you like to live it more creatively?
Well,
With 80,000 bees coming.
I think as artists, I mean, like the rest of you have said, your whole life is lived creatively. I mean, I have projects on the table. I have projects in my studio. I have a project right here where I sit on the couch. They're little hand pieces like embroidery. I'm working on an embroidered quilt right now. So each piece has got an embroidered aspect to it, as well as the quilt piece. And those are little handwork things. But my whole life, my whole day is just living that creativity. Since I retired, that it's just my life, I guess. And I think that sounds like how the rest of you live your life, creating things and moving through your day with little projects and things that feed your soul. And I think that's just the way we live. Art is our life, and our life is art, and that is just the way it is. I wouldn't be happy if I couldn't do this.
Right. Yeah.
And Adele and I have interviewed many artists, and most of them, it is like it is their breath. It is who they are. And like Ellen said earlier, joy. We find joy is a huge component, and it is a necessity. It's like a have to do. You have to do it. It's just the way it is.
It's just a natural way of being.
It really is. It really is.
Right.
And Adele, tell me, how do you live your life creatively? Or how would you like to live it more creatively?
Well, as most of y'all know, I work full time. So my creativity has to get intertwined with all of my work hours. I'm an art director at our company, so I express my creativity through the graphics that we do at work. But early in the mornings, which I love to get up, I'm either crocheting or I'm starting to check out resources to start another project. And at night when I come home, if I'm not too tired, I do my creative time and projects, whatever I got going. And what do I want to do more? Well, I want to do more art, but without any interruptions.
Yeah.
That would be lovely. Because it's hard for me to finish a project very quickly, even though I do my best. But I'm always being interrupted because my husband and I work together, so we're together 24/7. So to find some alone time, sometimes it can be tough. But I manage.
You do. Definitely. And I see we have a nice comment from Kathleen said, agree, knitting is the best for meditation. Yeah, it is definitely.
And Ruth Ann has come in.
I feel so lucky for online art friends during the last year. It fed my creative side and loved having the time to relax in my zone. And Adele and I started the Art Connection Summit idea back in 2019, like mid 2019, not even knowing that COVID was even going to be in existence. And we were planning to do this online, and COVID happened, and we were so thankful that we had already had this planned out. And so now we are into our third year with it. So, and building this community, and Adele and I talk quite a bit about like what a great community it is. I mean, people, like, their art that they're showing and what they're speaking of is like just, it's really cool. It's really cool. Yeah.
Well, it's been wonderful because we have met a lot of artists from around the world, and even us, we have discovered art that we have never seen before.
Yes.
And it's really nice to be able to reach out to these people and have them do a presentation for us at the summit, and that way you get to know them as well, because it's amazing what is out there. Amazing.
It's incredible. And it keeps, the doors keep opening. I mean, it's just, like one thing leads to another type of thing. How do I live my life creatively? Or what would I like to do more creatively in my life? I am an artist, and I am like you, Giselle. I'm a full-time artist, and that's how I make my living. And it's, it is a push, but I so believe in it, and I so believe in myself, and I have a super supportive husband, at least saying, Les, you're an artist, keep doing it. And I'm the support of the family. So it is really, it is finding that balance and that courage to continue onward and not just go get like a job, which I did for 1 week last year. And that didn't work. So, and my husband's like, and at the beginning of this year, January, I go, I'm kind of worried about finances. And he goes, oh, we're not going through that again. So, so I live my life very creatively. I love things around me to be, in my eyes, beautiful and wonderful. And, just the way, like every season, I change all the pillow covers on all the different pillows that we have around the house. I have to change all that out. I change the towels and everything in the bath. I mean, I have to change everything out, the things that are easy to change out. And my husband's like, I'm going out. Just let me know when you're done. And so, but I love having beauty around me. I love things around me that I cherish and that I think that I love. So that's pretty much how I live my life.
And Leslie, that change I think is really important. I think artists, we're comfortable with change.
Mm-hmm.
We're changing things all the time, and change really gives you a different perspective.
Yes,
that's true.
Yes.
Refreshes, it's refreshing.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. All right, now I'm going to switch the order in which we're going, and for our next one, and this is, how can you make fear work for you? And we're going to start with Sandy.
Oh man.
You're in the hot seat, girl.
Yep.
How can you make fear work for you? That's a good one. I always see it as a challenge to see if I can overcome that. Like when I go out to put the bees in the hives, that's going to be a big challenge. If you don't hear from me after tomorrow, you will know that the fear got me. But just to forge ahead. And it makes me stronger when I've come through the other side, because then I've done it and I feel so good about myself having faced it down and made it work for me. Okay. And it makes me a little bit more attentive to what I'm doing, because I'm going to be very careful tomorrow. And you have to just, let that fear be there, but you can't let it overcome what you're doing. I have to acknowledge it, and I'm acknowledging it right here. And yes, there is a certain amount of fear, but I'm not going to let it stop me. I'm going to do this. I'm going to find out what it's like to do it. I'm going to figure out how to do it. And that any project that I start on that I don't know how to do, such as sculpting dolls. I was terrified when I took my first class, and the fear of failing and then failing and having to put a picture up of it, that was terrifying. But I took a class, I think it was from AforArtistic. I took one of their classes, and I just forged ahead, and that was kind of terrifying. It's like hanging up your underwear outside when you put your work up for people to see. That is very, very scary. And I think we've all felt that. I mean, especially in the beginning. Now I don't care. I mean, it's like, I'll put it up there. I don't care. I like it. So, what the heck. But that's how I make it work for me.
That's good.
I love it. Giselle, how can you make fear work for you?
Well, I wrote something here, so I'm going to literally read it. So I wrote, fear has pushed me to be stronger, pushed my creativity to be better, and has encouraged me to believe in myself and my thoughts. It has given me a backbone to stand tall and proud. Because I'm the only artist in the family, and people think I'm weird. And you have to, and I continue it. So it is scary, but yet it's in my blood and I can't live without it. So I continue it. And I'm proud of what I've become. After all these years, this was just a little hobby. And look where I am now, talking to you ladies. Like, seriously, I've known Adele from way back when I was just starting to make dolls. And I've done hundreds of projects, and I've sold many, and I've taught thousands of kids and adults. And it's just, I just keep going. And am I scared? Every day. I'm always scared. I'm by myself. And I just say no. I'm going to keep going because this is who I am. It takes years to admit it, though. I find you think it's just a passing little hobby. It's not. It's not a little hobby anymore. I'm 56. I've been doing it since I was very young. I've always loved learning. It's in my blood. This is who I am. Accept it. If you don't like it, the door is right there.
It's definitely a lifestyle.
It is a lifestyle.
It is. And I see things. If I go outside, I see things. I close my eyes. I see shadows and images, and I create doing everything. It's just it's such I never thought it would be such a big part of my life, and it continues to be. So and fear has done that to me because we get scared, we want to run, but then we're like, no, I'm going to do this, and if it doesn't work out, I'm learning something in the process.
And Ellen, how can you make fear work for you?
Well, I would segue from Giselle saying you have to live your truth. And there's an excerpt from the book on page 22.
Oh, we got to get our book.
Which
Oh, you're such a teacher. She sounds like you.
Right.
You forgot to tell everybody you were a teacher.
Turn to page.
I'm on page 22. All right.
Okay, got
Let's see if it's the same thing.
In the middle of the page.
Yeah, watch us all have it outlined.
Yeah,
Yes,
What's the
I
second?
know.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where am I? Here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it outlined.
Bravery means doing something scary.
Yeah.
Fearlessness
Yeah.
means not even understanding what the word scary means.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think that as artists, we just go beyond what scares us because we need to know. We just need to know, we need to do, and we need to see how it comes out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
And when I approach, and I think it's to be, to accept what happens. Like my favorite, I don't call myself I don't draw well at all. But when I do blind contour drawings, I know that they're not going to come out right.
Mhm.
And that gives me permission to just lighten up and take all that stress away
Yeah.
and just go with that flowing line and see what happens. And a lot of times I just love the fluidity of that line.
Mhm.
And I know that it's flowing. And I don't care if someone else can't see what I see when it's done, but you just have to flow. Just let it happen. And that's when you are fearless and you let that go and you just go for it.
Mhm. That's wonderful. I love that.
I love what everybody is saying. It just,
I know.
It just really hits home. We have a couple of comments. Let's see here. This is back in 2013. My gosh, how time has flown.
Yeah.
Then we have Ruth Ann. She's around bees and they don't bother me if I'm calm and move slowly. Of course, careful too. There you go. She's giving you some hints here.
I know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Maybe that's somebody you can reach out to. That's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah. I didn't know
I'll
that
let you
Ruth
guys
Ann-
know.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
please do.
Keep us
Take
posted.
pictures,
Yeah.
post pictures. We want to see.
Yes. So Adele, how can you make fear work for you?
Well, I think that fear has kept me on my toes. Yeah, I think it has pushed me through things that I probably would have not tried. I think that creativity always takes center stage. Well, maybe not always, not on all my projects, but however, sometimes fear does take over and it just keeps me from moving forward. But I think once I acknowledge it, I can move past it. If I acknowledge the fact that what is holding me back from doing something, if I start analyzing myself, put myself on a couch, I think I tend to move forward with the project then, because then I figured it out. Well, silly you, why are you doing that? You know you can do this. So
well, and Elizabeth Gilbert in her book, pages 22 and 23, really, you can kind of relate, come back. And like what we were talking about earlier is like having fear next to you, being with you. And just like you were saying, Adele, acknowledge it, know that it's there and moving forward.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put a little different slant on fear because you guys answered everything so beautifully that I would be repeating. And this is actually just on page 1 at the very bottom. And Elizabeth Gilbert is talking about Jack Gilbert, and he answered the call without hesitation. He became a poet the way other men become monks, as a devotional practice, as an act of love and a lifelong commitment for the search of grace and transcendence. So when I read that, it was like on page 1, and I went, the word that stuck out to me was devoted. And I am like, I have devoted my life to art. And that's like all you guys have said. I am an artist. And I believe that we are all devoted to it. And because of that, we figure out ways to work through fear.
I think so.
Yeah. Because as an artist, you're going to face fear every single day, you know, and if you're not, then you're not pushing yourself enough, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I agree.
yeah. All right. So we are at an hour. I'm okay. If you guys, we have like 3 more questions.
I think we should go ahead and do this because we want to cover the other 2 parts.
The other 2, yeah.
Then we're going to be falling behind. We
right.
just
Then we'll be into next year. We'll be into
we got so many other things to do.
So enchantment in big magic. Gilbert talks about ideas are disembodied energetic life forms, completely separate from us, but capable of interacting with us. And I'm going to ask 2 questions. No, let's just go with this. Do you agree with Gilbert about where ideas come from? And if you haven't read that part of the book yet, just let me know. It's in the second part. Do you want me to kind of so basically what she's saying is that ideas are out there in the world, and then they are looking for somebody to connect with, and they can be floating right by you, and it's up to you to grab it. Otherwise it will go find a home with somebody else. And I can't remember if this was in the book. It could have been. Anne Paget is a writer, and I think it
was in that chapter. Where she had the idea and she didn't follow through. And
this is different than that. This was an interview that I heard with her and Anne Paget, and Anne said that she would actually, when she was a little girl, she would have an idea and she would go running out into the field to catch the idea. I mean, she physically had to get up and run after it and then run back home and then sit down and write it out. But that will kind of, Adele, what you were talking about, that will come into the last question. So do you agree with what Gilbert says about where ideas come from? Adele, we're just going to start with you.
Well, I do, but I also think that there's moments during our day or sleep or whatever that ideas do come in. I know for myself, mine is in between right before I start waking up. I'm not quite awake. It's either an idea on a project that I'm working on or something that I haven't even thought about. It comes in. Now, I feel like it's up to me if I want to follow through. If I'm really hooked onto that idea, I get up and I go write it down on a piece of paper. That's just so I won't forget it. And you know, it's my decision if I want to follow through with it at that particular, after I wake up, want to do the project or start following up on it or just set it aside for later. So, and so far as ideas, I think they come from everywhere. It doesn't, every part of my life, I feel like ideas are constantly coming in and inspiration.
Good. And Ellen, do you agree with Gilbert's idea of this?
I believe that that is a viewpoint, and I can relate to that viewpoint. I think that, you know, we're all energy, and so ideas are energetic also, and they're everywhere. But but for example, our energy, if we're with a friend, we have different characteristics that are brought out by that friend, and another friend, another different kind of characteristic is brought out. So with ideas, we have a say in those ideas also, and it's whether those ideas are compatible to our thought processes. And so the ones that fit us stay with us, and the ones that don't, we might have jotted it down, but you know what? It gets put down below in our sketchbook and left behind because it didn't connect so well with us. And maybe later on, maybe years later, we open up that sketchbook and we see it and it will take on a different life at that point. But yeah, ideas are living. Ideas are living. Ideas exist, and it's whether they're compatible and they match up with us at that time. So it's magic.
It is magic. And Giselle, do you agree with this idea?
I do. I also believe there's a place and time for everything. I get a lot of ideas when I'm driving, unbelievably. That's why I keep on getting lost, because I miss the exit. I'm thinking. I see things. It's not the time to make it. I try to jot it down, but even that, it's like, oh, I remember and I won't. But I find it doesn't leave me. Sooner or later, if I have a thought, it's going to come back to me. And even if it's 5 years, 10 years, I remember doing things as a kid and I'm redoing them now. So it's in me. It's embedded. It's just tucked in the back burner. And one day it comes to the front. So it's just not the right time all the time. We have life to live. But when it's present, we live it. Yeah.
And Sandy, do you agree with what Gilbert has to say on this?
Well, I think partly that's true, but I think it's different for different people. Like you can get ideas and inspiration from just about anything, and they seem to be floating around all over the place. And if I see a color and I go, and then all of a sudden there's a whole theme behind this beautiful burnt orange color, or, that would make beautiful fairy wings, or, oh my God, I can, that's perfect color hair for something. And so and then you just build from that. Those ideas, for me at least, seem to be just floating around, and I can get inspiration from just about anywhere, and you want to just grab onto them. And when I try that, it just doesn't really work as well. I think they just need to be hovering around for when you finally get the time to, work on those kind of things. So I just have so many ideas that it sometimes I just have to say, okay, I do have to do the laundry, and just okay, you guys wait, because I have to have clean clothes to wear. So it's just I think they're probably an energy form. I can't imagine that they're not, but it certainly is an interesting concept that they come by, and if you don't grab them, you won't, somebody else will get them, because so far I haven't seen anybody else do that for the things that that are floating by me. But then I live in a town that thinks I'm weird because the kind of art I do are for keeping bees, are for doing, anything. They really don't understand what it is to live a life full of art. And so they think I'm strange anyway, but so it's just, I think it's just a lifestyle. And I think when you live that lifestyle, those thoughts are just there, that energy force, that creative force that always sees the possibility in so many different things. So I think, it's possible for some people that is like that, like they're, floating past, and if you don't grab them, you won't get them. But, I think it'll come back around if it's meant for you.
Adele, I see we have some people chiming in on this.
I see that. We'll start here. Let's see what she's got. Yeah, that's true. That's what we were talking about earlier, and that we all have our hidden treasures. Let's see here.
The universe buries strange jewels deep within us and then stands back to see if we can find them. Boy, that is for sure, isn't it?
Yeah.
I went to a workshop on abstracts on Thursday. She shared a photo similar to the one I have taken. I came home and an art friend shared her blog and a new piece with a similar theme.
You know,
Yep.
that happens.
Yes.
That does happen.
Yep.
Yeah, it does.
And Ruth Ann?
Ruth Ann, to continue, I will still work on the subject and it will be different. Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's great.
Yeah, you get new eyes on it when you set it aside and come back sometimes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and you, Leslie?
You know what? I am so about this. This is I am like glued to this subject. I truly believe for myself, because every artist is different, for myself, I believe that the project that is to come is already made, and I am the one that can reach up and bring it through, and then it translates out through my hands and my capability. And I truly believe that, because it's like when I'm working on a piece, it's completed, and then I stand back and I go, how did that happen? I mean, I don't even know where I was during the creation of it. I was just the mechanical force that created it, was able to sew it together or, sculpt it together, and then it just happens. So I believe this, but segueing a little bit to what Sandy said, ideas come from everywhere. I was walking into, this is gazillion years ago, I was walking into a Joann's and they had their holiday Christmas fabric out. And there was this green penne velvet that had colorful sequins all over it. I mean, all over it. And I, took one step in, and it's, showcased in the front of the store. And I walked in and I went, oh man, who would wear something made out of that? And I took two more steps and I went, a mermaid would. And I went back and grabbed that fabric, and that became a mermaid. And so I still think that mermaid was created, and I just needed to be the one to create her, and I needed to see that fabric at that time. So I'm, I believe art is very spiritual, and that's my take on it. So I believe that everything is out there in the world, and that it will come to me. And like Adele, I write everything down also, because I feel like if I don't, it'll fleet away. It will go. So behind my computer screen, I have two ginormous whiteboards, and on one side is brain dump. So whenever any little idea comes to me, I jump up and I write it down on there, no matter what it is, just so I can at least capture it. And, like you were saying, Ellen, either it will happen or it won't, or it might in years to come. Who knows? I don't know. Or take a different form. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's my take on it. So
I think we might need to wrap those two questions, the last ones, together.
Let's wrap it together. So these two questions wrapped together is, number one is, what does inspiration feel like to you? And then can you explain how the thought of scarcity as an idea affects you? Ellen.
Well, I don't know if I've ever had fear that I couldn't come up with something. It's just a constant ideas. And my inspiration comes at the moments when I either sleeping, I mean, many times, especially this past year, many times in my sleep. I mean, it's not even when I'm almost woken up, it's throughout the night. Things get, problem solving gets answered. How should I do this? What's the, but also when I'm taking a shower, and that's a mindless thing that we go through. And so that really is a time that clears my head. And lots of ideas and problem solving happens then. And so my inspiration comes in moments, in those times, especially.
That's wonderful. Thank you. And Giselle, what does inspiration feel like to you? And what is the thought of scarcity as an idea to you?
Inspiration for me is excitement. It comes all the time. I'm in the shower. I'm driving at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's my reason to just get up and go and to do. It's just part of my life. Inspiration is everywhere, and I try to seize it. It's the color. It can be, if I'm driving a car, it can be the lady next that's driving that car. She has a funny hat, or the makeup, or it's just everywhere. Inspiration is all around me. It's from an ice cream. It's just time. All we need is time to be able to do as much as we want to.
That's true.
Beautiful. I love that. Sandy, what does inspiration feel like to you? And what is the thought of scarcity as an idea? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think thinking about scarcity, I have never felt the lack of or scarcity of anything, especially not ideas or supplies, because if I have to, I will rip up an old shirt and make something if that's where I'm at. It's like if an idea happens and it's over, I'm overcome with the need to create this, I will find a way to do it. And it is just a driving force. There are some pieces that have been like that for me, and I just had to. And when I'm in that space, when I am in that intense space, time goes by so quickly that I don't even notice.
Yeah.
I could start at 10 o'clock in the morning and it'll be 5 o'clock at night before I realize I'm hungry and I haven't been downstairs.
Yeah.
So it's like time doesn't exist when you're in that creative space. It's like you're in a whole different world, and there is no scarcity and there is no lack of ideas in that place. And boy, when you're in that place, that is a nice place to be.
Yeah. You're in your zone. That's for sure.
Yep.
Yep.
So I'm going to post this comment.
Suzanne, this has been a fun book to share with my musician husband of 45 years. We are joining studios alone together. That's perfect. Inspiration is all around and within.
That's
like
nice.
I said. Yeah.
That's nice.
Very nice. And Adele, what does inspiration feel like to you? And what about the thought of scarcity?
Well, I feel, I see it as possibilities and opportunities. And that's what those inspirations do for me. I can see these projects that I haven't been able to do or I have thought about doing, and it gives me that opportunity to do it. Scarcity, I'm like Sandy too. I don't lack any of that. I think that it's all around me, because that's the world that I have positioned myself in, even though I am not a full-time artist, but in a way I am, because I do eat and breathe it from the time I get up in the morning to when I go to bed. And in between, even though I am not physically in my studio, my mind is constant. I could be putting flyers in an envelope and I'm thinking art. So I feel like it's with me all the time. All the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I know. Well, obviously.
Yes,
definitely.
the life we live.
Well,
Yes.
Leslie,
Yes.
your question was, what does inspiration feel like to you? And I'm getting the feeling that it's feeling the same thing, but ultimately inspiration is orgasmic.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Well, Ellen, that is the way. I was going to kind of answer the question.
God. We have to censor our video.
But it is guaranteed.
Yeah.
It is guaranteed.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I was going to answer the question as inspiration feels like to me, like when I get an idea, I write it down and it is like I have had 15 cups of coffee. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
my entire body is bursting to get this idea to come out, and I have to actually calm myself down so I can actually work. And ask Adele, I mean, because I'll have an idea and I'm like, like, can we do that tomorrow? And she's like, why don't you think about it and get back to me? And I'm like, okay. So, but I feel inspiration. It overtakes me. I mean, it's overwhelming to me. So that's why I have to write it down.
Like
I'm not
like I said,
I was saying 15 cups of coffee, but
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness, we can
I
tell
know.
we get into the end of our
Okay.
talk here.
that should wrap it up, right?
Yeah. And scarcity, I really don't believe in scarcity. I mean, even to the point where I have had people come and copy my work exactly. I mean, but they will never be able to do what I can do the next time. So,
Right.
I feel like they needed to do that. It's not what I did. And, that's so I don't believe in scarcity either. I feel like there's enough art out there in the world for everybody. And because ideas come from wherever they come from, there's always room for more. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So you guys, really thoughtful, beautiful comments on everything. And this is just the first 2 chapters.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been great. It's been wonderful hearing everybody's stories and how they feel and how it all, how they're projecting everything. I mean, it's just been great. And it's been fun having a panel.
I know. And you guys, the comments that you are writing in, really fantastic comments. And I love we haven't been able to post all of them, but Adele and I can see what your comments are, and they will be up on the Facebook page so people will be able to see them.
Yes. So. Well, thank you so much, Giselle and Sandy, for joining us. It's been just tons of fun.
It's been fun.
Thank you.
Yes.
You're welcome. And Ruth Ann just came in. Let's see what she has to say here. Great to hear from everyone. Yes, it was great to hear from everyone.
And thank you for your contribution too, Ruth Ann. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So we will figure out when will be the next time. We will do
the next 2 chapters.
The next 2 chapters.
Let's see what those are.
I haven't checked them out.
We'll just look. You guys will figure it out.
Yeah. But it's a great book.
Oh, Permission and Persistence.
Oh boy.
Ooh, those are good.
Yeah.
Those are good.
So excited that a lot of the members of the group have been purchasing the book. And just to let y'all know, we're not affiliated in any way with her. It's just a book.
No,
it's a book that we thought actually how it all started is I was on Amazon and I was looking for a marketing book, and this book showed up and it said Big Magic. Had no idea really who she was or what it was about. And I thought, well, this kind of goes with the theme of Capture the Magic for the summit. And I thought, this should be interesting. So I went in there and kind of looked around. I went, oh yeah, I'm going to get this book. So when I started reading it, I said, that's it. I'm sending a book to Leslie and Ellen. We're going to have a discussion.
Yeah.
So that's how it all came about. But we're excited to do the review on the book. It's been fun.
Yep.
It has been fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Guys. Thank you for jumping in and having courage to jump in.
And no fear.
It is.
No fear.
It is. It takes courage to be able to jump in and be live with us or with anybody.
With us, it's especially bad. So you girls take care, and we'll be and remember, it's recorded, so you can go back and listen to it if you want to hear yourself again.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Thank you, you guys. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you girls later. Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Well, that was fun.
That was great.
That was
very
fun.
well done. Yep.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love everybody's thoughts. I love the comments. Yeah, it was really good.
But you know, the interesting thing, I was sitting here when I was listening to everybody, I'm thinking, oh, okay, now I really got my head going now. Now everything's starting to, I'm going to go back and read the book again.
I know. Well, you can reread it like so many times and get
something else out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think, Giselle had mentioned that she had read it before, but now she's in a different place and she's read it again or reading it again, and it's coming to her in a different way. So that happens as well.
Definitely.
So thank you, Ellen, for being here.
Yes.
It was so nice to connect from Alaska to Pennsylvania.
I know. How
wonderful it is to be able to do that.
Yeah, it is.
And it's the internet has made all of that possible.
I know.
It has done wonders, really.
It really has.
Yeah.
Right.
It's exciting.
Definitely.
Well, thanks, Ellen. It was great to hear your input. You're always full of joy.
Yes.
Well, you take care. Thank you very much. Very
all right.
Yeah.
We'll
thank
talk to
you.
Soon. Bye.
Bye. Wow,
so
that was fantastic. Wasn't that good?
It was wonderful. It was wonderful. And it's like I was trying to express myself, and then I thought, no, wait, I got something else to say.
I know.
We only have an hour.
I know. Yeah. Well, there's a lot to talk about. I mean, and to really reflect on. Yeah. I thought it was
there
great.
was.
Yeah.
But we move on, and it was just loads of fun, and can't wait for us to do it again. Want to remind everyone that this is recorded. You can go back and listen to it. Also, the summit is going to be October 6th through the 10th, and we are updating our website, and our teachers are now listed there. And we will have more information as we're getting it. We'll be posting it.
Yep. Fantastic. Really wonderful.
So, there we go. So we will talk later, Miss Leslie.
All right. Thanks, you guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.